yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Online, because that's really what it is. It's the photographs and stuff come through the feed.
Right.
And I go, what? Because she had like,
yeah, because she did put it out
stuck
there.
under the bed, like the booty's up in the air, with her head stuck under the bed. At 63, grandma.
Yeah.
So what's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, you know.
Both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bryshere Gray. Left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
50 Cent is going all in on Will Smith and Diddy, and it's getting real wild. He just dropped a jaw-dropping video that allegedly shows Will and Diddy getting way too close with Brier Gray. And yes, it's graphic. Whispers have been flying for a while about some wild three-way action between Will, Diddy, and Brier. But now, 50 Cent just poured gasoline on the whole situation. He's never liked Diddy, and now Will is getting pulled into the fire. But Will's not just standing there. He just hit back with a $10 million lawsuit against 50, saying 50's trying to drag his name through the mud. This is getting super messy. And we all know 50 Cent doesn't back down from a fight. He's the king of petty. And the way it's looking, he might be sitting on even more explosive footage of Will in some wild situations. You better sit down for this. It's about to blow up even more. And here's the twist. This feud isn't just drama for the internet. Will and Brier weren't just industry buddies. Will was her mentor. That means they were close. But according to 50, it might have gone way past just mentorship. All this went down while Will was still married to Jada.
Never gonna be Tupac, and she proved it when she fucked August Alsina.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bryshere Gray. Left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Hey, man.
And that was they kid's friend.
Yeah.
Who fucking believe that shit is real by any means with all of that?
Yeah, seriously. And that's not even the wildest part. Brier was also rumored to have gotten real cozy with Diddy after Will introduced them. Now, 50 Cent is out here saying the three of them were allegedly getting freaky together at wild orgies. And he swears he's got the receipts to prove it. Will's not sticking around to find out if 50 is bluffing or not. He just hit him with a $10 million lawsuit and a cease and desist. Will's clearly trying to shut this circus down fast before things get even messier. And honestly, it makes sense. Will's image has already taken a beating. People still talk about the Oscars slap from 2022. He almost got canceled for real. So now he's doing everything he can to guard his name and stay out of more scandals. The last thing he wants is to be dragged into Diddy's chaotic lifestyle. But if anyone can blow it all up again, it's 50 Cent. He's got a personal score to settle, and he's not the type to let things go. The beef between him and Diddy goes way back. This isn't just some new grudge. Way back in the late 90s, 50 was the hungry newcomer with his track How to Rob shaking the game. Labels were lining up to sign him, and guess what? He actually had his sights set on Bad Boy Records. That's right, he wanted to sign with Diddy, but Diddy, he passed on him, straight up said no, and that decision might have started a beef that's been bubbling for decades. It wasn't anything shady or personal. Diddy just wasn't feeling it back then. According to ex-G Unit member Tony Yayo, Diddy was scared to link up with someone tied to street life, especially after Biggie's tragic death. And if you knew early 50 Cent, then you know his whole image was gangster from head to toe. That was his brand, straight up. But Diddy, he was trying to keep Bad Boy clean and didn't want that kind of heat. Tony Yayo spilled even more tea. He said 50 did land a meeting with Diddy, but it was clear from the jump that it was just for show. Diddy didn't have any real intention of signing him and wasn't even open to the idea. Tony put it like this: we had a meeting with Diddy. It was me and 50, and he took the meeting out of respect. He had deals all over the table. I wasn't saying he was gonna take the deal, he might have not. But Diddy didn't want to take the deal because of all the drama, but 50 was the hottest man on the planet. Even though Diddy passed, 50 didn't miss a beat. He got scooped up by Eminem and blew up huge. He stacked wins and built an empire. But despite all that success, he never let that grudge go. That Diddy rejection, it stuck with him. But Diddy, he's been acting like it's all love. He keeps saying there's no beef between him and 50 Cent. His exact words, I have no beef with 50. He loves me. Do you really think that's hate when you break it down? You've been out here a long time. You know he loves me when he does that. It's like funny to me. I don't really take it personal. Diddy brushed it off like 50's just clowning around. I know he has a different sense of humor, he said. He's just not in my life. We don't ever need to cross paths. I'll never say anything negative about him because that's just not me. Then he added, sometimes people act like they don't like you, but deep down, they really love you. Now when it comes to Will Smith, that beef popped off all thanks to 50's slick mouth. Believe it or not, 50 and Will used to be cool. But after the infamous entanglement drama between Will, Jada, and August Alsina, things took a wild turn. After Will and Jada aired it all out on the Red Table Talk, 50 slid straight into Will's DMs. He hit him with, yo, Will, you all right over there? Will kept it respectful and replied, yes, I'm cool. I appreciate your concern, my brother. But 50 didn't stop there. He clapped back with, but why she tell you that ish on a show for everybody to see? Will responded, we broke up. So she did her and I did me. Still, 50 had to push one more button saying, then she said only she can give permission for somebody to blow her back out. Will had had enough of 50's trash talk by then. He snapped and told him, F you, 50. But 50 being 50, he didn't back off. When Will slapped Chris Rock on live TV over that Jada joke, 50 jumped right back into troll. He posted, now look what she's done. She got the power to make him slap someone with just an eye roll. And it didn't stop there. When Jada revealed that Tupac once proposed to her, 50 clowned her again, saying, thug life. Jada in New York looking for Puffy. LOL. Then he added, you think you're gonna get away with this? Oh, and remember when Jada shared that she used to sell substances back in the day as a teen? 50 jumped on that too, writing, all right, enough is enough. Free Will Smith. What is going on? By now, we all get the picture. 50's been trolling Will and Jada relentlessly for years. But these new claims about Diddy, Will, and Brier, they're on a whole different level. And while 50's turning up the heat, truth is, he's not the only one who's been talking. The whispers go way back. Brier met Charlie Mack when he was still young. Charlie's a big-name talent manager with all the right plugs in the industry. He saw something in Brier and lined him up with a shot to audition for Empire. Brier showed up, nailed the part, and just like that, he was in LA, living the dream, starring in a hit show, with Charlie still guiding his every move. What Brier didn't know was that he was stepping into a wild ride in the industry, and it was just getting started. At first, everything looked sweet. Charlie Mack seemed like the perfect plug. He knew all the right people, had big Hollywood connections, and was opening real doors. One of the biggest names he introduced Brier to? Will Smith. Brier and Will hit it off instantly, which made sense. Brier was killing it on Empire, and Will slid right into that mentor role. On the surface, it all looked clean. A superstar helping a young talent rise up. I mean, who wouldn't want to push from Will Smith? But things didn't unfold the way Brier probably pictured. Will wasn't just seeing an actor in him, he saw music potential. And that hit home for Brier, because rap had always been the dream. Acting was just a side hustle. He only did Empire because it had that music angle. He saw it as his shot to break into the rap game. With Will backing him, the next move seemed major. They set up a meeting with Diddy. At the time, this looked like a dream come true. Diddy was running the game when it came to music and production. Landing a deal with him could have taken Brier to the top. On paper, everything was lining up like a win. But now that we know what's been spilling about both Will and Diddy, man, the signs were right there. The red flags were waving, just way harder to spot back then. Here's some serious context. For over 2 decades, there have been whispers in the industry about Diddy and Will Smith both living a secret double life. Multiple insiders have thrown out claims that these two were allegedly involved in some highly inappropriate situations with other men in the game.
So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too, so I had the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this, like, this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder, like, murder. It was murder in there.
One name that came out strong, Alexis Arquette. She knew Will personally and didn't hold back. Alexis claimed that Will's first marriage to Sherry Zampino ended after she allegedly caught him in bed with another man. Alexis wrote, when Jada comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked into him servicing his sugar daddy Benny Medina, then I'll listen to them. She also said Will's ex-wife got paid to stay silent. That's wild. But Alexis wasn't the only one speaking up. Jaguar Wright also came through with some heavy claims. She said Will had a pattern of getting close to younger guys in the industry. At first, it looked like mentorship, meant all love and support. But according to her, things allegedly took a dark turn. She said those relationships became messy, complicated, and left some of those men feeling used and seriously hurt. And let's not forget about Diddy. Remember back in 2013 when there were rumors flying that he was being watched by the feds? People were speculating hard about what was really going on behind the scenes, and those rumors didn't just disappear. Word on the street was that the feds were digging into some dark stuff, with whispers about Diddy allegedly messing with younger guys in the industry.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
It didn't hit the major headlines back then, but the talk was definitely floating around. A lot of folks shrugged it off at the time. But now looking back, it really makes you wonder what was going on behind those closed doors. According to reports, things got real during a federal debriefing session. James Roseman, the music exec turned drug kingpin, was allegedly grilled by investigators about certain entertainers' sexual activities. One of the big names that came up, Sean Diddy Combs. Court filings claimed they asked if he had been involved in intimate relationships with underage boys. That's a heavy accusation, straight out of a U.S. District Court document. Then came the bombshell that blew everything wide open, Cassie's lawsuit. That was the moment the veil got ripped off Diddy's private life, and what came out was far from pretty. Cassie exposed a side of him nobody saw coming. She claimed Diddy had a thing for hiring male escorts and called these twisted setups freak-offs, but it didn't stop at just hiring them. According to Cassie, Diddy would force her into these wild encounters while he sat back and directed the whole thing. She said he told her exactly what to do, how to do it, and made her perform while he watched. He wasn't just in the room, he was running the show. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, came forward and dropped some serious tea of his own. According to Gene, Diddy wasn't just sitting on the sidelines during those wild freak-offs. He was right in the middle of it all. He even claimed that Diddy handed Cassie a shopping list, not for clothes or makeup, but to go out and find the perfect male escort. And get this, it wasn't even for Cassie's pleasure. it was all about satisfying Diddy's fantasies.
Her look online for BBCs for their freak-off sessions. And she say that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her get smashed by BBCs. So, what you think about that?
Do you think she was the only one getting banged by him? Do you think this man had this woman search for prostitutes online just for them to have sex with her? It's something fishy about that, bruh. Because you gotta realize this lawsuit and the information they had and they gave the Diddy people was 6 months.
But it doesn't stop there. Not even close. Cassie wasn't the only one caught up in these freaky setups. There's been a rumor for years that Diddy and Will Smith weren't just industry buddies. The street's been talking about them allegedly getting involved in these secret encounters together. Sounds wild, right? But that rumor suddenly hit different after Jada dropped a truth bomb of her own. She revealed that she and Will had actually been separated for a while. That changed the whole vibe. Suddenly, the talk about Diddy and Will being more than just friends didn't seem so far-fetched anymore. And just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, boom, another bombshell. Will's former assistant and longtime friend, brother Bilal, went on Tasha K's show and let something huge slip. He claimed that he personally walked in on Will and actor Dwayne Martin doing the deed in Dwayne's dressing room. Yeah, that kind of caught in the act moment.
So now I'm holding Dwayne down too, so I had the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him, murder. It was murder in there.
Whatever was going down between Will and Dwayne Martin, that's looking light compared to the full-on freak show Will and Diddy were allegedly caught up in together. But now, let's circle back to this so-called mentorship between Will Smith and Brier Gray, because things take a seriously twisted turn here. So Will didn't just connect Brier with Diddy as a mentor move. The word on the street, it wasn't business. It was something way more disturbing. Rumor is, Will wasn't just trying to guide Brier in the industry. He was allegedly pitching him to Diddy as a new recruit for their freak-off sessions. Yeah, that's what folks are saying. Diddy and Will allegedly pulled Brier into their wild world, promising him a bigger career, more exposure, and a fast track to fame if he went along with their freaky games. But after a few sessions, Brier had had enough. He couldn't stomach that lifestyle, and it was too much. So he chose to step back and walk away from it all. But that's where everything started to unravel. Not long after Brier distanced himself, Empire came to an end. And with that, his steady job disappeared too. At first, people just assumed he was struggling with the pressures of fame, but behind the scenes, it was way deeper. Looks like Brier might have gone through exactly what Cassie warned the world about. Word is, when he tried to break away from Will and Diddy's alleged madness, they didn't just let him walk. They hit back hard. The rumors say they retaliated, blackballed him from the industry, and even threatened him to keep his mouth shut, or else. Once Empire wrapped, Brier tried to shift gears and focus on music. He dropped some solid tracks and was even planning a tour. But then, boom, everything just froze. No more radio play, no more calls, no auditions. It's like he vanished overnight. And honestly, it's not hard to guess who might have been pulling the strings behind the scenes to make that happen. What makes it worse is that Brier was already carrying trauma from those alleged freak-off situations. The kind of trauma that doesn't just fade away. So when the doors started closing and the pressure built up, he started spiraling. And it showed. Suddenly, he was back in the headlines. But for all the wrong reasons. Legal trouble started popping up and things went downhill fast. Just like Jaguar Wright warned, She called out Will for mentoring young guys into situations they weren't ready for, only to leave them broken when things got messy. Brier's story fits that pattern way too well. After Empire ended in 2020, he moved out of his place. But that move came with drama too. His landlord slapped him with a lawsuit, claiming Brier and his dog left the place trashed, causing around $26,000 in damage. So get this. When Brier moved out of his apartment, the place was wrecked. The landlord claimed there was dog poop smeared around, a busted toilet from flushing way too many condoms, and the whole unit reeked of weed, even though it was a no-smoking building. Honestly, it sounded way too similar to the kind of scene Cassie described in her lawsuit, like the messy aftermath of one of those so-called freak-offs. Then came July 2020, and that's when things really spiraled. There was this wild scene where a woman named Candace ran into the street, flagging down strangers and begging for help. She told people she was a victim of domestic violence and needed to get away from her husband fast. A good Samaritan helped her reach the police, and when they arrived, Candace dropped a bomb. She claimed she was Brier's wife. What she told the cops was straight up heartbreaking. She said Brier had allegedly gotten violent with her, even choking her until she blacked out.
To figure out the situation, you need to help us verify what you're telling us.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Up first tonight, we're following breaking news in the arrest of Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight, we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had assaulted her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
Team 12's Michael Doudna brings us the late-breaking details from the celebrity's high-profile arrest right here in the Valley.
A TV star in handcuffs after police say he assaulted his wife.
I have a career, I'm an artist, I have a lot of...
According to her, the whole thing exploded after she confronted him about cheating, and that's when he snapped. She claimed the argument went from loud words to a full-blown rage, and things got dangerous.
But that's not my crime, you know?
The alleged crime, brutal. Gray's wife calling 911 after escaping him at a Goodyear QT, claiming Gray punched her hundreds of times, strangled her, and threatened her with a knife. But Gray claims to police it wasn't him, but some guy named Mark.
I guess they got into an argument or whatever. I was at my friend's house playing football.
But Gray's wife says she knows exactly why Gray claimed Mark carried out the crime.
He just said something with Mom. That's like a don't feed me.
In what is a bizarre 2-hour interview with police, the actor constantly changes his story.
I don't live in that regular world space, you know what I mean?
At one point, Gray claims to police he learned about the massive presence outside of his Goodyear home in a phone call at a friend's house.
That night changed everything. Brier was hit with felony aggravated assault charges, plus a couple of misdemeanors for assault and disorderly conduct. Brier's mugshot hit the internet like a wildfire, and social media lost it. People were out here wondering if he was on something the way he looked in that photo. It didn't take long before he pleaded guilty to the domestic violence charge. The judge hit him with 10 days in county jail and slapped him with 3 years of probation. After all that chaos, Brier still tried to claw his way back into Hollywood. He was out here acting like a fresh face, ready to take major pay cuts just for a chance. But that industry blacklist, no joke. No matter how hard he pushed, doors stayed closed. Rejection after rejection, he couldn't catch a break. Things got real bad. Brier ended up broke, out on the streets, and looking for any way to survive. And that's when people started noticing some shocking leaks from his OnlyFans account. At first, fans thought it had to be fake. No way that was really him. But Brier came out and confirmed it himself, dropped proof on Twitter and everything. He owned it fully, and his Twitter bio, let's just say, it raised even more eyebrows. This whole thing is heartbreaking. A young talent with big dreams dragged through the mud. And if 50 Cent's telling the truth, Will Smith might be just as involved in Brier's downfall as Diddy. Now it makes sense why Will's trying so hard to shut 50 up, because if this all gets out, It could seriously ruin him. But hey, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. See you in the next video.